Welcome back to ScoutBall AI. In this video, we're going to walk through the new features inside the Teams tab, including position rankings, bullpen setup, defensive alignments, and lineup optimization. These updates help you build smarter lineups, set your defense with confidence, and manage your pitching staff more efficiently. Let's get started by clicking on the Players tab to view your players. When you import your GameChanger stats, you can now assign up to 3 positions per player. This position assignment can be done by clicking on each player, or in bulk by uploading the standard CSV file with the positions listed. Once you've done that, ScoutBall AI automatically uses those rankings to drive your defensive alignments, bullpen management, and depth charts. Think of this as a calculator. You enter your ratings, and ScoutBall does the heavy lifting. You can update these ratings weekly, monthly, or anytime you notice a player improving or struggling. Adjusting those numbers ensures your defensive lineups always reflect the most current performance data. Let's start with position rankings. Go to the Players tab and click Position Rankings. Here you'll see each player listed with their first, second, and third positions, along with their individual ranking for each. You might notice that for some players, their secondary or tertiary positions are actually better than their primary one. For example, a player might be stronger at first base as a secondary position than another player who has it as their primary. It's not about their main position, it's about how well they perform when they're actually there. So, you can adjust these rankings however you like. If a player's secondary skill is higher, bump it up. Some players may even be equal across 2 positions. Once you've made your changes, click Save All. You can approach ranking in 2 different ways, by primary position first or purely by best player fit. There's a toggle for this, which we'll review later when we generate our lineup. Once you've saved your rankings, go to the Teams tab. This is where all your roster and analytics data live. You'll find options for your roster, analytics, bullpen, defensive alignment, and batting order lineup. We've already covered the Analytics tab in a previous video, so let's move on to the bullpen. Bullpen setup. In the bullpen section, you'll see 3 categories: available, active, and done. This is where you manage which pitchers are available for a tournament, weekend series, or a specific game. You can mark pitchers as active by clicking on them, and they'll move into the active list. If you make a mistake or want to rest a pitcher, click Remove from Bullpen, and they'll go back to available. For example, I'll mark a few players active. You'll see them move over. If I change my mind, I can remove a player, and he goes right back to available. Once you've set up your bullpen, you can manage it from the Manage Bullpen view. Here, you can scroll through and add or remove players directly. You can also add players who aren't normally pitchers, if you want to include them for that event. If you click Reset Bullpen, everything returns to available, clearing the active and done sections. That's the bullpen in a nutshell. Now let's move on to the defensive alignment. Defensive alignment. Open the Defensive Alignment tab. At the top, you'll see 3 modes you can choose from: Coaching Only, Blended, and Auto. Coaching Only uses your own evaluations, your eye test. Blended combines your GameChanger data with your coaching input. Auto automatically chooses the right balance based on your team's level: youth, high school, or college. View the Fielding Standards section. For example, if you choose youth, Auto will weigh your coaching evaluations at 60% and GameChanger stats at 40%. At the high school level, it's an even 50-50 split. And at the college level, it flips: 60% stats, 40% coaching. For this demo, we'll stick with youth, giving the coach's judgment more influence. Below that, you can select which players you want to include. You can select all, clear all, or choose specific ones. We'll keep all 12 players selected for this example. Now that our player pool is set, let's generate a defensive alignment. The system uses the rankings we entered earlier, those first, second, and third position ratings, to calculate the optimal setup. ScoutBall AI uses a greedy spine algorithm. It starts by locking in the most crucial defensive positions: shortstop, catcher, and center field, and then fills in the remaining positions from there. Pitcher is assigned last. Before generating, you can toggle between best player per position or primary position priority. Best player fit uses the highest rating available, regardless of whether it's the player's main position or not. Primary position priority starts with each player's listed primary position, then fills in secondaries and tertiaries. For this run, we'll choose Best Player Fit and click Generate Defensive Alignment. Once generated, you'll see the results update below. ScoutBall AI provides an overall team grade, for example, an A, along with the team's defensive strength score and how many positions were filled. You can scroll down to see exactly who's playing where. Notice how the shortstop might be in a tertiary position if that's where they actually perform best. You'll see some players listed as secondary or tertiary at their assigned positions, which is perfectly normal. That's how ScoutBall builds the most effective lineup. If you change to primary position priority and regenerate, you'll see the strength score might drop slightly. In this example, the lineup using primary positions scored 7.9, while the best fit version scored 7.8, a small difference. But it shows how flexibility can improve your defensive rating. Now let's save this lineup. Click Save, name it Test Lineup, and it's stored for later use. You can load any saved lineup at any time by clicking the green Load button. Defensive Depth Chart. Next, let's look at the Defensive Depth Chart. This view lists every player on your team and shows their ranking at each position: starters, backups, and third options. The starters come first, followed by backups ranked by their grade. That order helps you quickly identify your best substitutions in-game. Sometimes you'll see players listed in backup roles for positions that aren't their primary, like an outfielder who happens to grade higher at third base than your starting third baseman. That's because of how the greedy spine algorithm fills the field. Interactive Defensive Alignment. Now, let's open the Interactive Alignment view. Here, you can adjust positions manually and watch ScoutBall AI recalculate your defensive grade in real time. Right now, our defense grades as a B+. If I move a player to a new position, ScoutBall will recalculate and reoptimize. It might shuffle other players to keep the defense balanced. You'll notice the overall grade might drop or raise, showing how that move affected your defense. You can drag players around freely, test different ideas, and immediately see how those choices affect your defensive strength. If you make changes and want to return to the original, click Revert to Original Lineup. If you prefer to keep your changes, click Lock in Changes. When you lock in changes, ScoutBall AI records those changes and shows you exactly which players need to move to finalize the new defense. For example, it might say, move player 60 to first base. Once those updates are complete, you can save this version as a new lineup for comparison later. Batting Lineup and Optimization. Next, let's move to the Batting Order tab. This section works just like before, but now integrates directly with your defensive setups. Choose your lineup approach: balanced, power, or speed. Select all players and pick how many innings you want to generate for, typically 6 for youth games. Then click Generate Lineup. Your batting order appears below. Now, open the On-the-Fly Builder to fine-tune it. You can drag players up or down the order to adjust the flow of your lineup. Once you're happy, click Import Positions. ScoutBall AI pulls the defensive positions from your most recent lineup and displays them next to each player. For youth teams, most extra players will show as EH, or extra hitters. That makes it easy to see your fielding alignment and batting order side by side. When everything looks good, click Save Lineup. Give it a name like Tournament Saturday, and ScoutBall stores it under Saved Lineups. You can load any saved lineup at any time. Just click Load and it appears instantly. You can also export your lineup to PDF, copy it to the clipboard, or pull it up on your iPad for game day. Everything is built for quick adjustments between games or innings. If you make changes, for example, moving a player to the top of the order, you can save that as a new version, load it later, or revert back to your optimized lineup anytime. Summary and wrap-up. That's a full walkthrough of the new Teams tab features: position rankings, bullpen setup, defensive alignments, depth charts, and lineup optimization. These updates are designed to help you make faster, data-driven lineup decisions, simplify your defensive planning, and focus on what really matters: developing your players and winning more games. If you have any questions, open your ScoutBall AI dashboard and click the Help and Feedback button at the bottom to reach our team. Thanks for watching, and as always, rise above the competition with ScoutBall AI.